Rememberings by Sinéad O'Connor, read by Sinéad O'Connor. Dedicated with love to all staff and patients at St. Patrick's University Hospital, Dublin, and to my father John O'Connor, and to David Rosenthal, Bob Dylan and Jeff Rosen. Qui cantat bis orat, who sings praise twice. Foreword. I can't remember any more than I've given my publisher, except for that which is private or that which I wish to forget. The totality, indeed, of what I do not recall would fill 10,000 libraries, so it's probably just as well I don't remember. Chiefly, I don't remember because I wasn't really present until about 6 months ago, and as I write this, I'm 54 years of age. There are many reasons I wasn't present. You will glean them here, or most of them. I was actually present before my first album came out, and then I went somewhere else inside myself, and I began to smoke weed. I never finally stopped until mid-2020. So yeah, I ain't been quite here, and it's hard to recollect what you weren't present at. Making music is hard to write about. I was present then, in the place deep inside myself that only I know. But if you could talk about music, you wouldn't need music. So perhaps the things I talk about here are not always music, but they are the sum of what I can recollect and tell from my youth until now. I've left some people out because I know they prefer privacy, and others because I want them to be pissed when they look for their names in the book and don't find them. That I wasn't present explains why there are two distinctly different voices in this book, one leading up to the tearing of the Pope's picture in 1992, and one afterward. This is because it took me 4 years to write anything after the Pope chapters, the night before and the night of Saturday Night Live. Years during which I lived in and out of mental health institutions, sorting out my reasons for not being present. Afterward, a new voice began speaking, and I hope this is acceptable to the listener. It's pretty much the best I can do. I see the first voice as a ghost's, and the next as a living woman's. Both are equally important. There was a symbolic death and rebirth, and you can hear it. I am, in fact, rather proud of it. Now, I ain't going to be winning the Booker Prize anytime soon, and I ain't Bob Dylan or Shakespeare, or even in the class of my amazing brother Joseph as a writer. But I've told my story as I remember it, and tried to tell it the way I speak. I imagined a certain person I was talking to as I was writing or talking the chapters. Never going to tell you who that was, though. I was very young when my career kicked off. I never had or took the time to find myself, in inverted commas, but I think you'll see in this book a girl who does find herself, not by success in the music industry, but by taking the opportunity to sensibly and truly lose her marbles. The thing being that after losing them, one finds them and plays the game better. I'm now an older woman with a different voice, so this is only my first memoir. My intention is to live a long life and keep diaries this time so I won't forget. However, it was necessary for me to let the child inside me speak because she needed to speak. And because I did, she's older now and chooses to remain about 17. Please know that I have a deep and infinite love and compassion for both my parents, who did their very best in what was a very difficult time for Ireland and for Irish people. And my father remains my idol, having borne more pain than any human being I know, and having borne it so heroically. We are a family made of soldier DNA. There are military great and great-great uncles, and this has stood to both my father and myself. I especially hope that by letting the child speak, I do not cause offence or upset to anyone in my family. I haven't discussed anyone's experiences but my own, and I apologise in advance if anything I've written does cause upset. It was not my intention. My intention was to put all the pieces of the jigsaw that was me out on the floor and see if I could put it together. To be understood was my desire. Along with that was my desire not to have the ignorant tell my story when I'm gone, which is what would have happened had I not told it myself.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?